Dáadáa.
Hmm?
Ó dà pé mi ti ń kúrò ní backend o. Ó dà pé mo fẹ́ lọ wo bí frontend ṣe máa rí o.
O fẹ́ lọ ṣe kí nìyẹn?
Mo fẹ́ lọ wo frontend díẹ̀ kí wọ́n bí máa rí.
O fẹ́ fi backend ńlẹ̀.
Ọlọ́run. Inú ẹ̀ lè.
Ó ju agbára ẹ lọ.
Kéré kó ju agbára mi lọ. Like, ó require more time, more practice, and kéèyàn tó lè master dé péyàn jẹ́wó pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Ó máa lọ fàájẹ́. Mi ìdẹ̀rù bí a mo ní time yẹn.
Wàá wá time yẹn.
That's it.
Wàhálà mi.
Wàá wá time yẹn.
Èmi ti jókòó ti HTML, mo ti fẹ́ parí HTML báyìí. Tó bá parí ẹ̀ sì máa mú CSS. Tó bá parí CSS, máa mú JavaScript. Máa mọ̀ pé mo di frontend finally.
Mọ̀ pé ọ̀tọ̀ ní kó wo fídíò kó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ọ̀tọ̀ ní kó lè apply.
No, mi ò wo fídíò. Mo ti wo fídíò kan náà. Then mo ti ka PDF kan tán mo wà lórí ìkejì báyìí. Mo fẹ́ parí ẹ̀ náà.
Ṣé o ń practice ẹ̀ bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe tẹ̀lé ẹ̀ bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe lọ?
Kíni ò lè wà láì. HTML yẹn kò lè wà láì. Tó wáyé pé frontend mo ti kọ́ ni. Mo ti lè di àgbà báyìí.
Well, HTML is simple, but HTML has never given anybody a serious website.
Kò ṣe HTML nìkan ló máa ń lò náà. HTML, CSS and JavaScript náà ló wà.
Exactly. So, but it depends on how good you want to be with your front end. Because with your HTML is your CSS, with your JavaScript, sometimes with your PHP. So all of those things, they go together, they go hand in hand. So either you are moving to this or not, you will need some time to actually sit with it, like serious sitting.
Okay. I'm a joke with you. One of the reasons, another reason tí mo ṣe ń kúrò ní backend ni pé eléyìí tí mo mọ̀ dáadáa na sí. And C na for gaming development.
Na for
mainly gaming development.
Okay.
Èmi ò dẹ̀ ń ṣe fan game. So I feel like I should do something that I'll be seeing, because that one is very, very relatable one. Like back end, maybe say go see from the interface. Underground work.
Yeah, well, I think starting with front end can be a good encouragement. Yeah. I did a little of HTML and CSS. Which other one?
JavaScript.
Sure. The little JavaScript I'm doing is on data analysis.
Okay.
So HTML is good. In fact, it's a very good entry point because it helps you to see the site markup. You decide what you want it to look like. This should be this size. This should be this long. Blah blah blah. But the styling itself is entirely on CSS.
Styling àtàwọn color and CSS.
Yes, but responsiveness and reaction is on JavaScript. PHP, I really don't know much about PHP, but I know it's even more sophisticated. So I won't say give up on your backend, but at least you can start with go to the front end you want to do as you approach the things you want to do. Because eventually what you're going to discover is if you are going to build the kind of website that people will eventually pay you good money for, you will also need the backend.
Okay.
Because today, what we do today is we're in a data world. Almost everybody that has a website, that has a business that has a system always want to be the one who is in charge of their customer. They want to be in control of their data. So that's why you see some of them, you get to some website, they tell you they are using cookies. Cookies is just a mini program that they put in that website to collect data. So some of those cookies will collect your browsing history, the kind of things you buy, the kind of website you go, the kind of things you do on your phone or on your system, right? And part of it are some of those things that will collect your password, your name, your location, and everything like that. So
Kí a máa reject cookies báyìí ni o.
yes, so many times, many of them will tell you they have a functional cookies which help the website to perform optimally when you browse. But to a large extent, you can see it to be a lie, right? You can see it to be a lie. But those are the things you have there. Those are the things you have there. And apart from that, when some of these businesses come and they negotiate, I mean, when people come to them and say, I want to register for this, I want to fill in this form, all this subscribe, the information you put is always going to somewhere in the back end. Uh, all this register, all those information they are collecting is always going somewhere in the back end. Because the same, and most of the time, the people that design the front end to make room for the form, the registration channel, and everything like that, most of the time they are not the one responsible for the same code that collect that exact data and put it in a database. So when you see people say they do full stack development, they are simply saying they can do your front end and they can do your back end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the time, your big money starts coming when you can actually attend to the need of the person you're working with. Very few people want to do website today and all they want is a static website. Most of them want to collect information. For instance, let's say you want to build a website for say Glasses Water or Neta Green now. One of the things they want you to do is help them collect get quotes. When they say get quotes, it means in the form they will give you, you have to fill in the kind of project you want to do, how many people you want it to serve, the kind of gadget you want to using Meta Green for instance now. How many bulbs, how many computers, how many freezer, everything like that. Then how many room is in your house? What are the other kind of thing you use electricity for? So when you put the form there and the back end is not working, even when the form tells you it has submitted, the other person, the owner of the website, will not see anything at the back end. They will have no data.
Yes.
Yeah. But when your back end is intact and is working well, when that person submits that form, the owner of the website or the owner of the business will receive that information at the back end and say so person is doing so thing and needs a quote. So they now use that information to process. So along the line, the person will also submit the email. So it's that email that the owner of the business will now send his own response to when they are done. And that's why I won't just say give up on the back end. So as you work on your front end as you go, you begin to see the relevance and then you begin to know which other part of it you can incorporate so that when you come to that place where your skill is strong enough for you to make money, you can confidently build people based on your skill and you build them optimally without the fear of can I really do this? When I do
Okay.
this, will it really give them what they need, right?
Okay.
So I would say go for that front end, do as much as you can, and beyond reading the PDF and watching videos, if you can get practical videos that you work with them as you go, you can start with a website, anything at all.
This link where you give lesson sef www.
Yes.
Mo ti register fún never give the admin say na this time we go start. So before we start, me I just say make I just dey check my
Oh yes, that makes sense. Before they get ready, and I will check for some other link that can also help you. And I think I should still have some on web development.
back.
So if
Yeah.
I'm able to lay my hands on it, I'll just send it to you so you can go through it. Some of them have practical projects, right? So, because one of the things you begin to do with front end is when people come to you and they say this is what they want to do, one of your questions to them would be, what's the purpose of this website? So, because the purpose will also determine the kind of work you're going to do. So, I think about 3 or 4 major questions that web developers ask their clients. And when they ask, it helps them to know how to structure the website, how simple or complicated it should be, or let me not use the word complicated, maybe sophisticated, right? It should be, and
That's exciting.
yes, how good it should look, and how simple or plenty the information they want to pass across should also be. So all of those things also goes into the responsiveness of the website, the animations involved in the display of those features on the website. So really, it's a good idea that you want to start with, to go again into front end development. So as you go along, you begin to see the relevance of back end, and then you begin to know which one you are supposed to incorporate as you go.
Wahala.
Yeah, and then
Ẹ ṣé.
I've not been seeing you on LinkedIn though.
Ah, we'll start this inshallah.
All right. So when you get there, send me an invite to connect, because there are groups and pages on LinkedIn where people strictly discuss those kind of stuff,
Okay.
and you need to be a part of it to know the latest thing happening in that field. Yeah. Okay. So
Normally, na UI UX designer go design how the site go be before dem come write the code.
wait, I missed that. I didn't get that.
I say shebi na UI UX designer go design the interface before front end, before back end come
It
do
it
changing.
it depends on the system you have on ground, and then the client that is coming to you. In fact, most of your clients don't know they need a UI UX designer to work on their website before the developer actually work on it. But it goes this way that if you have a system in place, you want to make work easy for you,
Yes.
you have a UI UX designer who works with you. So what those people do is when they design your stuff, everything they give you makes the job easy, including their color codes and everything. So it's not that they use blue somewhere and you are thinking, what kind of blue is this? Or you just pick any blue. They give you the exact color code so that when you do your own, it will match exactly what they've designed.
Yes.
But most of the people that will approach you for web design, they really don't know that they need the help of a UI UX. If their work is simple enough that you think is something you can easily do, you may not necessarily need a UI UX, but there are some level of web development that you cannot do without the help of a UI UX, because they have to first give you step by step how that website is supposed to work, and you have to see it for the color, the animation they expect, and why they do some of those things. So when you have seen that, it makes your work easy. You just pick it up from there, put the codes together, and everything starts running. So in a case where you want to get a job, for instance, and you look at the scope of the work and it looks like a big one, and you are very sure that this, this person really not aware that they are supposed to do such a thing, it makes sense that you call their attention and you simply tell them, before I work on this, you are going to need this. And the reason you have to do that is because if you say you should do it on your own, the money that UI UX people charge is also big enough to do a simple website alone. So if those people are not aware, they may just be wondering why is your money really going up, what you're charging them. But you don't want that to be the case. You introduce the UI UX from start. But if you are starting a business from the development stuff, you can have a UI UX person working with you. So when you charge people, you put everything into consideration and you charge them. Meaning from the money you charge them, your your UI UX guy can be settled, and you that you're going to develop, that you're going to write the codes, you also can be settled. And one other thing people do is, in a case where you really don't have UI UX and the person has told you what he or she wants, the next thing you do
Yeah.
is give them templates.
Okay.
Like, look at this. Do you like this? Will this serve your purpose? Something like this, something like this. Many of them will like it. Many of them will do one or two adjustments. And with that, you're good to go. You know what's in that template already and you can run with it. But in a
Okay.
case where they are looking for something unique, something entirely original, then you have
When
to bring in the UI UX, let them design it for the person, and then you write the code.
okay. Okay.
So for the back end self, I was going to give you something to develop for Glasshouse Waters,
You're
but
going to give what?
something to work on for Glasshouse Waters. It was supposed to be a complete app on its own.
Okay.
So let's see if you think you want to try something on it. We can talk after this. Because in fact, the Smartech, the guy that's working on the website, he got to a
Yes.
point. Oh, give up because I think he just learned web design and is calling himself a full stack developer.
Ó pọ́n
And
rẹ̀ lé ni now.
you say what?
Mo ló pọ́n rẹ̀ lé ni.
So I now gave him a template to work with, and he was like, "Ah, he can do it. He can do it. He will do it." I said, "Okay, run with it." So after some time, he came up with something. I said, "Ah, Oga, did you not see the template I gave you? Do this, and do that." He said, "Okay." We went back after some week. He came back with something, and I said, "Okay, you are trying now, but now you know that these are the things we want to do, and it will involve your back end skill and stuff like that." The guy went after 3 weeks and came back and said he's giving up. What happened? He said sincerely it's beyond his skill. Oh, right. So what do you want to do? He now said he's going to he's going to join the marketing teams, the social media team. I said, right. So now we're
Okay.
looking for somebody to do website both front end and back end. But that's just to tell you that sometimes these things, when you leave class after watch even some practical videos, after you seem to have learned, you eventually discover that when you get to real projects, it's not always as
So,
easy as what you have seen in those videos.
real life, ó yàtọ̀ sí
Mi ò gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ.
real life yẹn ó yàtọ̀.
Building website, ó yàtọ̀, right?
I said real life, like,
Real life, yes, 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 always different.
yeah, because most of the time, all these people, they really do not teach what you are going to need on the field.
Yeah,
They just
right. So